They got a lot of energy here.
But we're gonna do all this stuff before them.
Okay. I'd like to call to meeting the Georgetown School Committee Thursday evening, May 9th, 2013 meeting. First call to order is school committee reorganization, and the first position there is chairman. So I'm looking for a nomination.
I would like to nominate Barbara Linares for school committee chairman.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? I would just like to add, I think it's a great choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All set? The meeting is yours.
Do we know, we have to move
Yeah, you
seats?
can move seats. I'm gonna move name tags, not to confuse the public.
Oh, yes.
I should have said Barbara, known as Barbie.
There you go. Thank you, Rob.
Oh, it's so high up. I just have my chair all perfect. Okay. Okay, so moving right along, we're going to continue with the reorganization. The chair will entertain a motion to nominate a vice chair. Do I hear any nominations?
I would like to nominate Rob Hoover as vice chair.
Second.
Perfect. Any discussion?
Robert Hoover.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Rob.
Now the chair will entertain a motion to nominate a clerk. Do I have any nominations?
I move to nominate Pam Lindquist as clerk.
Perfect. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That's great.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to move along.
Second.
Nobody seconded? Oh.
Who second?
Did you so move?
Alana nominated.
I nominated.
So who you need a second?
I second.
Rob, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to go ahead with the attorney.
Yes. So this, as some of you know, Lorraine, this will be new a little bit to you. Naomi Stoneberg has been with the law firm of Brody, Hardoon, Perkins, and Keston. And Naomi is the district's attorney, reference to the school committee and to the school administration. Naomi's done a phenomenal job for us and very responsive, very knowledgeable. So I would urge you to appoint Naomi Stoneberg as the Georgetown School Committee's legal counsel for this coming school year.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to appoint Attorney Naomi Stoneberg as the Georgetown School Committee's legal counsel for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved?
A second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, also in the vein of the law firms, in matters regarding special education, we work with two attorneys from this firm of Sullivan, Nuttall, and McAvoy. So again, I urge you to appoint that law firm to assist us with any legal questions we have regarding special education for the coming school year.
So the chair will entertain a motion to appoint the law firm of Sullivan, Nuttall, and McAvoy as the Georgetown School Committee's special education legal counsel for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We will send letters to both of those law firms confirming their appointment.
Okay, so now we'll go ahead and talk about the subcommittees for 2013-2014.
Great.
Carol and Laura took everybody's consideration, you know, for filling, these were asked to be filled out a couple of weeks ago. And Laureen was asked when she came on board to fill out the preferences for the different subcommittees. So what I'm gonna do is just, I'll say how the considerations, what was considered when they chose who would be taking over these subcommittees. So everyone was assigned their first choice, which was great. A balance of experience, you know, an existing member to a new member. All members represented on at least one school committee subcommittee, and the workload was equally distributed. Everybody got at least two subcommittees. So, Should I just announce who's gonna do it and then make the motion to?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I think this is the first everybody's seeing it. And again, this is a draft. Normally what would happen is the chair would gather all your things and would begin to distribute these things and then maybe contact you if there was any questions. But given the fact that Ann was transitioning off and, rather than take a lot of time at the meeting to try to decide, we just said this is, and it's a draft for discussion only. It's certainly not cast in stone. It really is the school committee's decision as to what the subcommittees are. Laura and I just organized it and applied those considerations because those were things that, I wanted to try to be somewhat objective. But anybody that's not pleased with their assignments or would like to make changes, please feel free. It's really for discussion only.
Okay. Okay, so budget and finance will be Rob and Pam, and I'll be the alternate. Governance will be Alana and Laureen, with Pam being the alternate. Negotiations will be Barbie and Laureen. Pam will be the alternate. And then for the Public Relations Subcommittee, we'll have Pam and Alana. Safety Subcommittee, Pam, will stay on that. School Building Committee will be Rob. And the Synthetic Turf Advisory Committee will be me. So, how does that sound to everybody? Does everybody has?
Rick?
Acceptable.
I just have one question. Sure. Because, we won't be having, so the governance committee, both Maureen and I will be serving on it
That's
for the
right.
first
You're the
time.
only.
And I just want to make sure that you're comfortable with that.
Yeah,
that-
then the reason I'm comfortable with that is because if there's any subcommittee that's great for new folks, newer folks to be on, it's that one, because one of the major jobs of the school committee is governance, policy development, and it's the best way that we can think of to have you get immersed in what the policies are and, that familiarity. So I think we're fine with that.
Okay, great.
And actually, because the policy book has been pretty newly, within the last couple of years, completely revamped. It's really as policies come up, as we see a need for a new policy, as one needs to be perfected. So it's not like it's revising the whole book. It really is a process I think is very doable for two new people.
Great, okay.
Thanks for asking.
Okay, so I'm gonna make one motion, if everybody's okay with that, just rather than each individual subcommittee, okay? So the chair will entertain a motion to nominate the following people for the subcommittees. For budget and finance, it will be Rob and Pam with Barbie as the alternate. Governance will be Alana and Laureen with Pam as the alternate. Negotiations will be Barbie and Laureen with Pam as the alternate. Public relations will be Pam and Alana. The safety subcommittee will be Pam. School building committee will be Rob. And the synthetic turf advisory committee will be Barbie.
So move.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I thought that was great. Just having fun.
Yeah, well, we've done it different ways, and I've seen it work better than others. This made sense. I think this is the way that is closest to what we've found in the past has been successful.
Worked well for me.
Okay, so moving along to the appointment of district officers.
Oh, sorry, probably me. Okay, so the law requires and policy requires that there are some committees that need to, or people within the district that need to serve in certain capacities. Like, for example, we have the Title II compliance officer, the sexual harassment hearing officer, the Title IX coordinator. And so members of the administrative team have graciously agreed to serve in this capacity in the event that something comes up and we need to resolve or to conduct an investigation and resolve it. So right now, you just need to approve those officers, those particular positions. So let's start with the Title II Compliance Coordinator. So I recommend that Donna Straight be appointed as the Title II Compliance Coordinator for the 2013-2014 school year.
Okay, so the chair would like to entertain a motion to appoint Donna Straight as the Title II Compliance Coordinator for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next is the sexual harassment officer, and in this case, we appoint one female and one male because certain circumstances may warrant that. So I recommend that Brian Gill and Margaret Marr be appointed as the sexual harassment hearing officers for the 2013-14 school year.
Okay, so the chair will entertain a motion to appoint Brian Gill and Margaret Marr as the sexual harassment hearing officers for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, the Title IX coordinator. So I recommend that Joan Laporto be appointed as the Title IX coordinator for the 2013-14 school year.
Okay, the chair would like to entertain a motion to appoint Joan Laporto as the Title IX officer for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So with the appointment of the school physician.
Dr. Medwin has been our school physician for the past several years. He's interested in continuing in this role for the district, so I recommend that the committee reappoint him as the school's physician.
So the chair will entertain a motion to appoint Dr. William Medwood as the school physician for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, the consent agenda?
Yeah, what I think you have to just do, it's not in the orange notes,
Oh,
but the
the pay-
designation of the payroll.
Payroll warrant signature.
Right.
Oh, okay, and that's what I, was in charge of last year. It's just someone that can be, around during the week. It's on Wednesday, Thursdays usually. And you just have to go into the office and, sign off on payroll. I'm fine with doing it, but if anyone else would like to do it, that's okay too. That's fine. Okay.
So entertain a motion.
So the
Would you,
chair,
you're fine with it?
yeah. I'm
Okay.
fine. But we do have to have an alternate.
Why don't I be the alternate?
Okay, Pam be the alternate? Okay.
Sorry.
So the chair will entertain a motion to, appoint Barbie Linares as the payroll warrant signature, person, and in my absence, Pam will be the alternate.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
so-
now you can do the consent.
Now we can do this, okay. So, consent, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes, regular session minutes of April 25th, 2013, public relations minutes of April 5th, 2013, and acceptance of warrants number 45V13 and number 44P13.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so Cole is not here.
Hi.
Hi, Pam. Hi.
Sorry,
Thanks for coming.
This is Cam.
Sorry I'm late. I was at a
That's
track
okay.
meet.
How'd the track meet go?
Pretty good. Still going on. We had a late meet today. Got caught in the rain. Yeah.
Oh,
We had to stop and start it up when I had to leave.
Where was it?
Ipswich.
oh,
Yeah, we saw some lightning, had to stop.
yeah.
But so currently what's going on in the school, we just had the senior showcase.
Yes.
I think it was last week.
Thursday. I
Last
was-
Thursday. And I couldn't make it personally. I was at the PTA fashion show.
Yes.
But
So was I.
So was I.
But
Yes.
I heard it was a big hit. The acts were amazing. The seniors were amazing. The talent was out. There was a lot of support for the seniors. I'm sure everybody liked who went. I know I would if I'd gone. The dance team is having a performance sometime next week, I believe, and that's open to everybody in town. Every child under 5 is free, and then students and parents, I think, are around the same price. I'm not entirely sure. I'm
So
sorry.
could someone find the information on the website if they were interested?
I do not know for certain, but there are posters around the school, so if you
Okay.
have children, your children can look around for you.
Okay.
I think it's in the I think it's in the
Yeah.
weekly
Weekly
announcements.
announcements. Okay.
Yeah.
I
saw it today.
The the seniors are counting down their final days. Sure, all the parents and students are excited about that. AP tests are going on. AP tests are crazy hard. Some I hear. I don't have to take any, but I'm thankful for that. Math and English MCAS, right? I think are starting next week for sophomores. Good luck for those kids taking those. Not like those either. So this is just a time of year when the school year really starts to wind down and starts stuff to mellow out. We have the annual Georgetown art show coming up.
Yes.
And Mrs. Dodge, the graphic arts, the digital photography and digital arts teacher, really runs that along with Miss Ken and Mrs. Royce. And so the seniors will present their art on stands in the cafeteria, and then other underclassmen art will be displayed around the school. And the film festival will be going on at the same time, so you'll have all the classes, and anybody who's taken digital video with Miss Dodge will have videos or projects in the film festival. It's a big turn every year, and everybody has a lot of fun. There's bake sales this year, and the money's going towards the National Honor Society. We're having our induction ceremony as well on that day.
Great.
Should be lots of fun. I'm not sure if there's much else to talk about. The girls softball team is going to states. They just won to Triton, I think.
So
I'm
game
sorry.
against Triton.
Yep. And so they qualified for states, so they're on their way there. Baseball, lacrosse, they're both doing good. I don't know the exact sports. I'm sorry, but all the sports are doing great, and I think that's a lot of the stuff that's going on.
That's
Thank
great,
you,
that was a
Ken.
lot you remembered.
So prepared for
Thank you, that sounds great. Okay, we're gonna move along to the audience, and I was going to see if Jill wouldn't mind if I just moved ahead the kids. Do you mind if I just move them above you? Okay, perfect. So we have
Mrs. Began's class.
Mrs. Beacon's class,
So
and they've
where
been
is
so
Mrs.
good.
Began? Oh, there she is. Come on up.
They have, you guys have been, it's really
Well,
hard to wait.
and just
they've been
while we're
doing so
waiting,
well.
just to let you know, the school committee has to reorganize every time there's an election. And so that's the standard procedure, just happened to be tonight, so thanks for your patience while we did that. Thank you. Well, here we are. Look at everybody.
You guys can turn around.
It's so funny, I can tell from their faces who their mums and dads are.
Well, thank you all for coming. This is very exciting.
Nice to see you guys.
Thank you.
So sometimes when we have meetings, we don't get to do a lot of fun things, right? But all of us here are here because we want to have good things happen for all of you guys, all the students in the school district. So it's really nice is when folks like you come and talk to us, so we get to see firsthand the great things that are going on. Mrs. Beacon, as the teacher, is going to help us understand a little bit of context, and then we'll turn it over to the kids.
Okay. One of our units in Writer's Workshop and Reader's Workshop is poetry, and our class really took off with it. In fact, in February, we haven't started it until now in April, and Joey got us started. In February, he just wanted to write a poem, and that burst everybody in the classroom to start making poems. And I had to type them, and then I had to laminate them, and they got the ball rolling even before we started the topic.
Yeah.
They've been working really, really hard, and they're so proud that they got selected to share
Yes.
poems. They've been learning about like line breaks and repetition and rhyme. We've written color poems, rhyme poems, list poems, and acrostics so
Wow.
far. But since this is their 10 minutes of fame, they selected two really nice ones that they wanted to share. And we also have a different, when we get to Joseph, we'll tell you a little more what we do for reading response journals.
Okay.
But if we could introduce, you're going to introduce your name, and then you're going to read us your poem really slowly, okay?
Well, hi, my name is Kylie Kalea, and I'm going to read my poem. It's called My Cow. I have a cow, and he said meow. He did that very night, but I had no say. It's awesome, but I'm not a possum.
Oh, and the picture to go with it.
What kind of poem was that?
The rhyming poem.
Yes, we can hear the rhymes. Great.
Want to share your acrostic?
I have a classic poem called My Family. Well, it's called My Family. Fun stuff, a happy moment, my happy family. I am great. Little secrets. You love everyone. My family.
So can you explain how you write an acrostic poem? What do you do when you?
When I did it across the poem, I thought I did the basic, I did the whole word and then I put it across and then I did words to just explain what the word is.
Right. So that when you had F for family.
Yeah.
What did you write next to F?
Fun stuff.
See, so it's something that
Very
that
cute.
letter reminds you of.
Brings it all back to the topic.
Yes.
Family.
Excellent.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Great job.
Okay, you gonna introduce yourself and tell us your poems?
My name's Ruby and I have a poem about winning it and it's acrostic.
Okay.
When I'm winning, nobody beats me.
A win.
That's cute.
I'm winning. Nobody beats me. Very good.
I have another one and it's called Soccer. And it's an acrostic poem. Score, over the goal, cool, cover, excited to win, run, now I can play.
Very nice.
Hi, my name is Delamonte and I have a list poem and I have an acrostic poem.
Okay.
So here we go. Rain is by Delamonte. Rain is mud puddles, rain splashing, boots squishing, quiet outside, thunder booming, lightning flashing, dark clouds, April showers, flowers, water, wet. Rain is awesome.
Wow. You could really hear your describing words in there.
And this was the April shower that went along with it. What kind of poem is this, did you say?
A list poem.
A list of them.
Now tell them what kind of poem that was.
This is an acrostic poem. Tree. Tiny hands reaching for fruit. Everyone needs to live on Earth.
That was tree? Very nice.
What Joseph has is, he brought something different with him too. He has a poem, but this is our reading response poem, our reading response journals. And what we do is, they have to respond to something that we're learning about. So I took a poem and dirt on my shirt, and they had to respond, how does this poem make you feel? Because we were talking about senses and imagery. So he's going to share with you his poem response, and then he has a picture on the back side. Okay? Introduce yourself first.
My name is Joseph Williams. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel playful because it is happy. Because he is happy, so it makes me feel happy too. The picture in my head was a little boy playing in the mud. He is climbing up a tree as he has a smile on his face. He has leaves in his hair and he doesn't really care. I don't like mud. Once I got in a mud fight with my brothers and I got hit in the arm and it really hurt. Once I went to a place where there was animals. I saw a pig in the mud and I ran away. It was gross when I was there. There was a pig race. I didn't stay for the whole thing. I went to the playground. There was a giant slide. I went to the sandbox. If you find a coin, you get $20. I didn't find a coin, but when I was there, a kid found one. So he was excited. I was kind of sad and happy at the same time.
Oh.
Joseph, before you read that one, what Joseph noticed too, which is great, and that's what we want to do as teachers, is when he wrote all of that, and he's also brought in his inferencing and all of his experiences, and he went back to the beginning and said, Mrs. Fagan, look how much I wrote in the beginning of the year to the response. It was this much. And I'm like, I know. And he's like, look how much I write now. So it's a powerful thing, is
Yes.
bringing in that. So now you can do that.
The tree. The tree is so happy with all of its leaves until the trees lose their leaves. The trees get granted with new spring buds, but none of them are the same.
Good, very good.
Joseph, are you the youngest in your family of with brothers? How many older brothers do you have?
2.
Let me tell you, as you get older, it turns.
I have 2 little sisters.
Well, there you go.
Lucky you.
And Carter is our last one. Introduce yourself. Okay. Thank you
Hi,
for
my name
waiting,
is Carter Lucido, and I have a acrostic poem. Mrs. Began by Carter Lucido. Mrs. Began, really nice, smiles, vegan. Every day always helps me. Great teacher, I really like her. Never's mean to us, always by my side.
Oh, very nice. Mrs. Keegan, you need to frame that.
I didn't want to pick that one. And he was here. He was like, "Megan, I need to do that. No, I need to do that one." I said, "All right."
That's
But
perfect
this
for
one-
Teacher Appreciation Day,
And
too.
then he brought it in for that, which is really nice. This one is powerful. When he wrote it, it brought tears to my eyes, and I said, "Laura, you better be ready for this one." They came in and about the Boston One Fund and all of that. Oh, guys, get ready. Carter wrote that, and I was like bawling. I was crying, going, "God, this is powerful," and that's what poetry does, even at this young age. 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds. So, Carter, take it away.
Boston Strong by Carter Lucido. Big friendship, one fund, super police, tall police, one criminal left. Next month the criminal will be gone. So many nice people. The people came together, Russian brothers, our great survivors, no more hurting. Great news, Boston is strong.
We always say out of the mouth of babes.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
powerful stuff
Right.
is going on, especially with the poetry. And thank you so much.
Oh,
They
thank you
they
so
worked
much.
hard, as you can see, and they were so excited. Each one of them came up to me today saying, "What do we wear?
They've made us proud.
I know.
Congratulations.
I knew you would be last.
Think about before we leave.
Make a bow, absolutely. Thank you all for coming.
I know. Can I just tell you how impressed I am by you guys getting up in front of us? Because I know, even though I don't think we're intimidating, but for you guys, we might be a little bit.
TV?
Do you know it's on TV?
I am
Yes,
so
I know
impressed.
Do you know that? That people
gonna
in
go home
town
and
can
watch
watch you?
Do we get to watch it tomorrow?
Yes, yes, during snack time.
You guys did
Thank
great.
you, Heidi, very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, families, for bringing our children tonight for us.
You're very welcome.
You'll never believe that was written by a 7-year-old. I know. 6-year-old probably.
Great.
I could identify with the young one there, the younger brother.
Yeah.
Oh, the Williams little boy, yeah.
And it hurt, he said, man, it hurt.
Like, oh yeah, I know what that means.
Remember that.
Heidi can help you with that. We'll help you with that.
That was great. Yeah, that was nice.
Okay, now poor Jill has to come follow that. That was excellent.
Oh, those kids are so adorable. It really reminds you why we're here.
Exactly.
I mean, how
Okay, so Jill, do you want to come up?
Yeah.
but they're precious at all ages, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Not as cute as them. Okay, just getting some things approved for the senior celebration.
Yes.
Oh, this sounds like so much
We know
fun.
we know it's a
know
big
it's a
secret,
city,
so we
it's
don't
a
want to let
surprise.
anything out of the bag.
Oh,
We know
good,
what it
good.
is,
Okay,
and it sounds great.
I won't tell anybody.
I would have come out and said it, okay.
Yeah, that's
It's all
right.
a secret.
Did you guys get the pizza flyer? I wasn't sure.
I didn't see a pizza flyer.
I didn't either.
Because it was one fundraiser that we wanted to do on May 23rd.
Are you doing it in school?
Can I give that to you?
Well, let's see.
Actually, no.
Are you soliciting the staff and the students, or you're
No,
sending it out to
it's
parents?
Raleigh House of Pizza.
Oh, okay.
And just a portion of the events will be donated to the class 2013 senior celebration, substance-free party for the entire senior class. So what it basically is this says Thursday, May 30th at Raleigh House of Pizza. They donate, I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but it's a significant amount, and they do raise a lot of money. And would like to put it in backpacks around May 23rd. And so that's it for this
Okay,
fundraiser.
so we'll take care of approving that.
Yeah, so that's gonna go to everybody?
You will, yeah, that's what you're requesting, right? They go out to backpack.
Yeah.
or the information that goes out at the middle high school. Is that what you're
On the
also?
Yeah,
emails,
the
like
email
the
notices.
flyers that come
Right,
with the
let's
daily
see,
emails.
Okay, well, you work with Laura on that, we'll help
Okay.
you with that.
And then we'll have to figure out how many for each backpack.
Yeah, we'll help you.
And then the other things were the itinerary. Do you have all that? So basically, you know, this itinerary outlines from 1:30 when they get dropped off. Do they know that
Yeah.
beginning part, or is everything
No,
a secret?
Yeah,
These
everything's in
guys,
there.
yeah, everything's secret apparently.
Okay.
But everything's
So-
in the budget, I mean, in the packet.
So I can't ask a question about this?
Well,
It's a secret.
it's a
It's a
secret.
question I would ask.
Don't blow it.
Actually, you know, Mr. Lucia and I, and school committees in the past have had conversations about this. This is a little tricky because the policy says overnight field trips need to be, out-of-state field trips need to be approved by the school committee. But the senior celebration committee is a separate committee. It's not a school-sponsored activity. It's something that the students can choose to go on, right? And you take the care of the liability. It's a completely separate thing. So we've always been under the impression that it isn't something that has to come before the school committee because it's not really according to your policy. It's a separate organization, you know. But, you know, certainly it's something I would like to just have our attorney let us know just because of the liability
What are the
issue.
liabilities?
And,
What are the
and there's also a letter, an insurance binder, a rider.
That's right. We worked with our attorney on that because I was concerned that they were taking the liability when they're taking the students, you know, as an organization, and there wasn't any kind of a sign-off. And I worked with the town administrator regarding because I think everybody's assumption was everything, and if anything happened, it would be taken care of by the town. And the town said, no, that's not how it works, especially if it's not a school-sponsored event. So these folks, I helped get a rider together so that they could at least have parents sign off.
Sure.
Accepting responsibility. So it's a work in progress, but I don't believe that they have to come before the committee to get the trip approved. But we've done it both ways. So I will take responsibility for getting a ruling once and for all from our attorney. But I think for the purposes of this, it probably does make sense for the chair to entertain a motion to approve the senior celebration, you know, as presented, and we can go from there.
And in the event something unfortunate did happen, I mean, how are parents notified ahead of time that this is not a school-sponsored
Through the
event?
paperwork
Right,
that
we
they'll
have
send.
a parental sign-off form.
The parent will
Right.
sign that
Yeah.
they've read all the paperwork
Right.
and that the school has no
Correct.
responsibility and we're not liable
Correct.
for any, okay, just as
And
long as
you know,
that's in
to
place.
release
I
from
can-
liability. And
Yeah,
agreement.
What's the participation rate? Like, is it pretty much like 100%?
From what I understand, right, like they all say, I don't know if I'm gonna go, I don't know if I'm gonna go, and then at
And
the
they
last
go.
minute, everybody goes. You know,
Right.
so,
It's usually
Their
a lot
friend
of fun.
goes,
They
"Okay,
do
I'll go."
enjoy it.
yeah.
There are a lot of nice senior activities. You know, obviously there's prom, but there's also a senior dinner, which they're going to have barbecue again this year out on the football field. But every year there's some very nice traditions in Georgetown for the seniors. So some kids might think, oh, it's one more thing, but I think they do go and they do have
Yeah,
a great
a
time.
lot of people do stuff for the whole day.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
different people donate
Right.
time and,
Yeah.
That's great.
This
It's
looks
a lot
like a
of-
great trip.
yeah.
You'll love it.
It does.
We're
Surprise.
still looking
Yeah, I
for
wish I
chaperones if
would.
you wanna go, Rob.
like, and who chaperones? Is it parents?
Let's see, for chaperones, there's 8, 4 female and 4 male,
Parents?
preferably, yeah.
Yeah, usually it is.
2 chaperones per cabin, 2 female and 2 male. And 1 chaperone is already a registered nurse, so that's a
Oh,
little
that's
comforting.
good.
That helps.
Yeah.
That is good.
So,
It's good.
It's a lot of undertaking though, for the parents, like for you and the other parents that are doing it, and I know in years past, it's a lot of work, so thank you.
yeah, Ellen
Yes,
Trujillo
thank
really
you.
has done the
Yeah.
lion's share of it all.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what she did, because I
No,
keep
that's
thinking of
right.
things and I can't
It's
say
hard
it.
to have conversations in secret,
I
isn't it?
know.
Okay, so the chair will entertain a motion to approve the senior celebration event as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All
Have
set?
fun.
Thank you, Jill.
Great, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Thanks for letting us move you too.
Yeah.
Okay, so administrative reports.
Yes, I did,
Mrs.
my,
Began.
yeah, Mrs. Began was on my list.
Okay. And superintendent's information for the committee, does anybody have any questions about that? No. So the financial report, the third quarter report, Joan?
Right. So I apologize that it was in the packet, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't here, but, so this was for the quarter that ended in March. And as you can see by basically just go to the last page, it's in the negative by 31,000. But as we talked about, I think in March, when we did the monthly report, we haven't tapped into our circuit breaker yet. So the biggest area where we have the deficit is in special education. We're in the negative by 283,000. We have over $300,000 available to us in circuit breaker. We did implement a budget freeze, I don't know, maybe about 6 weeks ago. There were some lines that I was worried about, substitute lines, whatever, but also I'm trying to be cautious with using circuit breaker this year because we really don't have any wiggle room next year in our budget if we were to incur higher special ed costs than we had planned on. So by implementing the budget freeze this year, it was late compared to, I guess, other years where it might have been implemented in the fall. I felt that we were at a place where principals had already ordered what they needed. If they do have a need, they just call me and we talk about it. And if it's something they have to have, they obviously get it. And I'm just trying to be cautious for saving some of our circuit breaker money for next year so that we have some place to go. So,
Right.
so.
Anybody have any questions? I know you had mentioned it the last time, so it wasn't a surprise when I saw it.
No, and I think it's up to, I looked today, it's up to about 60,000 in the negative as a bottom line. But again, we haven't touched circuit breaker. I did get a call from the town. Did you know you're in the negative? I said, yeah, I know, but we have encumbrances, so, we're
Right.
really not in the negative. We have money in our budget because we encumber all the teacher salaries. So it's just, it's a projection.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so moving along to subcommittee reports. Budget and finance, we haven't met. Governance, haven't met either. It's a slow time right now.
Yeah.
Negotiating, no,
The only thing you have with negotiations is, we would need to talk about my contract for the remainder of this year, and then the process for going forward to do a successor contract, because it ends in June of next June, year from June.
2014.
So I'd prefer not to be discussing it in the spring of 2014. I prefer to have that done and
Right.
discussed and arranged, so whoever's on negotiating, we would probably want to get a meeting together. And then there was one other negotiations request to do a side letter of agreement with the teachers' union. Joe Patel has approached me about that. So it's just a small, it has to do with a stipend that they want to add to the schedule in the contract, but it wasn't something that came up when we negotiated. So when we have something within the body of the contract, within the 3-year period that we want to add, we don't just add it into the contract, we do a side letter, and then that side letter continues to exist until the contract gets done again, and then it gets incorporated into the contract. So it would just involve discussion about a side letter.
Okay, well, Laureen and I, on negotiations, we
Yep.
can figure out with Laura what works.
Okay, sounds great.
Public relations, Pam?
No, we haven't met.
Okay, and safety, you had a meeting today?
Yes, and we discussed, let's see, we were going to put up at Pearlie some netting around the gym, the balcony there. Not that anything has happened, we've had no problems with it, just as a preventative safety measure.
Wasn't there netting before, though?
There's netting on one end.
Was there netting
Okay, by
before?
like Mrs. Chick's old class.
Right.
There was always netting.
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes that attracts the kids, too, the netting.
Well,
Spider-Man.
it's not right against it.
Yeah, it's,
But the other side has nothing, and as Pam said, nothing has happened. I don't anticipate anything happening. It was just one of those things that I think we're looking ahead to when the the older children move out, and they're, or little littles, as we call them, we just wanna make sure that it's completely safe.
Yeah, err on the side of caution.
Exactly.
That's good.
Exactly. And Lieutenant Don Cudmore, who's going to be the new chief, will be coming to, he was not at this month's meeting, but he will be coming to the next meeting to look ahead to the coming school year and plan and prepare and discuss, what we're gonna be doing then. And then on June 21st,
June 21st.
at between 5 and 7 o'clock at the Erie Firehouse. We're gonna have a little goodbye and appreciation and thank you kind of retirement get-together for Chief Mulligan.
Right, and the
nice.
public is welcome. We want to make sure the committee knows in case you want to drop by.
Right.
It's an open house kind of thing.
21st, yes.
21st from 5
to
7.
Oh, that's
Very
nice.
informal,
That's
just,
nice.
get together and say thank you.
That's nice. Okay, is that,
That's it.
okay, thank you. School building?
We had a meeting Tuesday night, and everything is moving along well. That's the summary of it. The site continues to get tweaked. The building continues to get tweaked, moving closer to that point for submittal of the first round of construction documents. It's amazing that we're getting to that stage, how fast it's gone, and that we're actually getting there. Anyways, one of the changes that took place were the columns to the front entrance of the building. Personally, think they're spectacular, and I can't wait till people see it. So that was very exciting. That was really exciting. And the next meeting that I have is on the 28th, which is not in 2 weeks. It's a 3-week break.
You know, Rob, one of the things I was thinking about today, that maybe what we could request, and I know we're gonna have some busy meetings coming up because we're gonna hear school improvement plans and handbook changes and all of that. But maybe one of the things we might wanna do is invite Ellie and Michelle and Carl to come and just do a very quick update for the committee on the changes to the site, because it really is quite different than the last time that you would have seen it. And I'm also gonna suggest they think about doing something for the abutters. Because when I was at town meeting the other night, some of the folks that had been coming to the meetings regularly were chatting with me. And, I think there's still some, concern and interest in like, well, so what's it really, where is it? What is the project now? And I think it might be kind of a nice thing to have an opportunity for the abutters and people that are gonna be directly affected by it again to see what it's like now. It would probably generate a little excitement for them too, I think, that in their neighborhood to have something that's gonna be as nice as the new school is going to be, might be reassuring to them.
I think that's a great idea.
So we have to just suggest it to Ellie and Michelle maybe.
Um,
But would the committee like that, to have
love that.
Yes,
them come and do a
definitely.
little?
Especially if there's some
Stay out of the,
changes
stay out
that.
of the details and just.
Yeah,
look
we
at
won't, just
look
the
at
big
imagery.
picture,
Yeah,
cause
yeah.
you could
Do we still
spend
have my
3 hours.
gable, the gable?
Which one?
Uh,
Over where?
And
You
the
do,
front.
you do.
In the
The
front.
front
And-
door,
and
over the
it
front door,
has,
okay.
in my opinion, improved.
Yeah.
There's only
Would
one,
you agree with
so-
that, Margaret? It's
Okay.
improved?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. That gable's very important to me. It
Well,
says
it's there.
school and it says New England.
There is the gable, but then there was a design
Yeah.
in front of the gable.
Oh,
And
nice.
Carl has worked to really just improve the feel of that.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, it
Excellent.
looks like a flower.
It does,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's in front of Conservation Commission now where they're reviewing that part of it. They're doing the technical review of that part of the town. And I think that's really all that worth
Right.
reporting.
Thanks. The synthetic turf, I just wanted to make a comment on that, since it did get approved through, town meeting. We're moving forward with a meeting on Tuesday night, 6:30 in the middle high school library, and the, engineers will be there. And so the next meeting, hopefully we'll have a good update to provide the committee
Well,
with.
and
on
Mike
that.
Farrell will be there, the conservation agent was invited. The concept behind it is, now that we're moving forward, let's get everybody in the same room that may have information or know about the project, and Joan's gonna be there, Mike Anderson, and we will post it, because Rob, you were invited as a landscape architect, so more than one person is there. We should post it as a school committee meeting, and so if anybody else on the committee wants to come, you should feel free to come.
Yes.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
it'll
I
be
did speak to
interesting.
John about that, and he said, yeah, you know, invite the entire committee if you want. So, if we're gonna post it, we might as well just invite anybody who's interested in coming. It'll be, as Barbie said, on Tuesday at 6:30
14th,
in the library of the middle high school.
Tuesday, 14th.
Laura's making
Laura's-
faces over there.
do you wanna-
You're saying it's not gonna have time to post it, right?
Not within 48 hours, I'm not sure
Oh,
about the
to
Saturday,
post
I'm not sure
the
about the
school committee
Saturday
meeting.
rule, I'd have to check.
Okay, let's check that out.
Town hall's closed tomorrow.
I know that. So we'll have to, so Monday, Tuesday.
10.
So you're saying, well, what if we posted it tomorrow? Well, we can't because it's Friday. All right, let's look into it, Laura. Let's look into it. So it might not be, it may not be able
But
to be
It's
posted.
an open meeting,
But it's an
right?
open
It's an
meeting.
open
So-
meeting.
It's an open meeting. You just wouldn't,
We can come?
you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't participate, but you could come.
Does that, so if, so if
You
I
can come
go, I
and speak
can't?
as a member, yes, you can speak as a member of the public.
You can speak as a member of the public.
Can't take any action.
Yeah, you wouldn't be deliberating as a committee.
Right.
Are there any estimates as to when the project will start or finish? Anything preliminary yet?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. They're talking about breaking ground in November. So they're doing Rob, was it that they were getting, the construction documents were supposed to be done by the end of the school year into the early summer, right? Then they were gonna bid it, and then the bids were coming back in.
September, and then early, I thought it was a little earlier than that, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then breaking ground in November.
Do you know how long it takes to install one of these things?
School?
The turf
The
field.
turf field.
Oh, turf field. Well, that's part of what's gonna start to be discussed is, you know, cause there is a permitting process, there's a number of things that have to be done. Krista Franco, the athletic director, will be there. I think Peter was invited, you know, because obviously if there's gonna be a timeline, the school folks need to be able to tell us,
absolutely.
you know, what's gonna work and what's not gonna work, and if we move forward with it, what's the impact gonna be? I know that, one of the things that John and Mark had said, if it was possible to do it in the spring, the price was gonna be a 20% reduction overall, which of course, that's always appealing. But again, that's just very preliminary, you know, we have to go through the permitting process. If we can't get the permitting process done, we can't, you know, we can't accelerate the project. So I think it's,
And you've got to have most of the drawings done
Yeah.
before the permitting process, before you
Right.
begin it.
right, so we have to look at exactly what is the stage of the drawings at this point. They're not at the level of depth and specificity that you would need, right, Rob? So,
No, they're really in the, they've got a concept plan, and they've got to go from that to
Right.
into drawings, really.
Right.
It's pretty basic.
okay, all right, so but it is an open meeting, you could come under that scenario.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
So old business.
Okay, old business, there's just a couple of things that I want to bring up, and the topic is school choice, everybody's favorite topic. So a couple things have come up, and I wanna pass something out to you. Just this week, I received an email inquiry from a family. It's a first thing I'm just gonna give you is the two-page email. It was from this family that, well, you'll be able to read it, but they lived in Georgetown many years ago. Their children went to school. 2 pages. This is the email so if you start at the bottom, dear me, right, the second page, you'll see what the request was. And then, as you follow up the trail, you'll notice my responses to him. So this is a family who moved to Texas. They're moving back. They have a child, I believe it's I forgot what the age is now. It must be going to be a junior. It's sophomore, right? So they're going to be a junior, and they're going to be moving to Newburyport, and they're requesting that we open a school choice slot. So as you can see, I've explained this is the formal request. I asked him to put a formal request in. So what I'm handing you now is the letter he sent, the email he sent today. So I, explained to him about how school choice works, that, the school committee every year has to decide, after looking at all the evidence and information on class sizes, if we're going to open slots, that we generally, because of graduation requirements needing to be met, we generally do not accept students after the sophomore year for school choice. And I tried to, very nicely explain that, we have a number of families, who move out of Georgetown and desperately want their children to stay in Georgetown, but, we aren't able to necessarily allow them to stay. They have to kind of go to their neighborhood school. So, I kind of explained that, I know he'd love to have him come back, but it's kind of better in some ways for the student to enroll in the school in which he's going to finish his education, he's going to meet friends, et cetera, and that, there are a lot of people every year who request to come to Georgetown, and we have to say no to them because they are not residents of town. So, but I did give him my, my opinion, and then he said any appeal. So, you're the appeal. My recommendation, as you can see, is that as much as I'd love to help this family out, we have a lot of families that we haven't been able to help out. We've sent other people on their way when they've made excellent arguments as to why their child's been here since kindergarten and why can't they stay. And we've said no, because of our class sizes and just because that's not the way it works. So I'm giving you this information, and I did tell this family that I would bring it up tonight and that we would make a decision as to whether or not the school committee is willing to open a school choice slot. I also explained to him, if you open a slot, let's say you open a slot for a junior, we have to advertise it by law. We can't just say, okay, we'll open one slot and give it to you. We have to advertise it by law. If we get more than one student, we have to do a lottery, which this kid might not even be picked. We don't have a real process for tuition. And one of the things that I did get an advisory from our attorney, and she said that if that you can accept them, but you would accept students at the cost of the town. There wouldn't be an opportunity to get school choice money for it unless you opened a school choice slot and followed the appropriate school choice procedure.
Are you expecting a decision this evening?
Well, we can, listen, they're happy I'm willing to bring it forward. If the committee does not feel that they can make a decision tonight, I'm more than happy to contact him and say, it's under advisement, and, we can certainly vote on it at the next meeting. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I just think taking it a little time, I feel that if the parents see that we looked at it tonight and we just said, if it came out to saying no, I just don't know how they would interpret that. I just think it would be in the best interest for us to just think about it and then bring it up at the next meeting.
That's
What do you
fine.
think?
Just understand that, we will get these kind of requests all the time if we start entertaining
Right.
them. So we have to really be careful.
So through this process, have we turned other families away? I'm just starting to get familiar with it, and I read some information you had in here, but.
Well, generally speaking, the only process by which we've accepted students is through school choice. And we have had, often we get unsolicited requests from parents to have their children come before and we don't advertise any slots because we don't feel we have any available. So we didn't we just had this conversation last meeting, and we opened 5 9th grade and 5 10th grade only. So we didn't open any junior slots. We said we didn't feel we had slots available. So this came up after the fact, which is why I'm bringing it up under old business, because it didn't exist the last time.
I don't
So
know. It seems to me that, on the one hand, I feel for the child,
of
right?
course, exactly.
And yet, if it was so important to the parents, I wonder why they're relocating to Newburyport
Newburyport.
and
I
not
said the
coming
same thing
back
too.
to Georgetown.
Well, good
If
question,
that was,
yeah.
if that was important,
That's right.
To be in this district,
to be
why
in
would
this
not?
district,
Right.
if that, so, because we've spent so much time discussing the school choice issue, and I knew you would have something to say.
Yes, I'd like to ask what Mr. Lucia has to say.
We have never recommended taking choice students after the sophomore year.
Okay.
Because, like most high schools, we have some unique graduation requirements, and it's very difficult for kids coming in past the sophomore year to meet those without really altering their schedules.
And what would happen with this child if his family did move to Georgetown? I mean, then we would obviously take him in the 11th grade.
But he or she, I don't know who it is, would have to take a series of graduation requirements, be in classes with freshmen and sophomores, and of course would have to do their community service in 2 years rather than 4.
Wow.
Now, if community service was required at his or her old school, would we take that he or she already did so many
I
hours?
think so, yeah.
You would take that? I always thought that my understanding of school choice in, in some districts, they say, like, don't take them after 11th and 12th because of the social aspect of it.
That's a factor too.
Okay.
And sometimes what you find, not always, but sometimes what you find is that there are issues in their current school, and so as a way to kind of get out of the issues,
Right.
They'll want to transfer, but sometimes those issues become issues then for us.
At the new school.
And so it's not always the case, but, it's tricky once you go
Right.
down that slope. I mean, sometimes there are, like we had recently, a situation where it made good sense in extenuating circumstances to make an exception, right? But we just have to determine whether this falls under the guise of something worthy of making an exception.
My inclination is because we can't guarantee the student the spot, because we
Right.
would have to open it up to lottery. And we've already determined that we don't
Mm-hmm.
accept students at the 11th grade, is just to say.
But we
we're
wouldn't
really-
have to open it up to lottery unless we did it under school choice. We could open up just one slot. Is that
Yeah, but
correct?
then you have to advertise it, and you have to do a
Okay,
lottery.
so it does have to do all the,
You have to,
exactly,
yes.
that's the only way to do
Or
it.
you could say, okay,
I
well,
thought we
we
could
don't
say,
have
okay,
any
we're just
school.
doing one.
Well, you can say you're just
Right.
doing one, but then you have to advertise it. If you're calling it a school choice slot, you have to advertise.
Right, I
So
understand
if
that
you
whole
don't get
process, so
anybody
there's no,
else-
we cannot say as a committee, okay, we're going to allow this student in.
Yes, you can, but you cannot charge, you'll get
Exactly.
no money for it.
Yes, exactly. So it wouldn't be school choice. It's us allowing one
Correct.
student to come in at that grade. And
And-
it would
and
be
I-
on the
and I-
town's dime.
Right, I'd have to look at whether, you can do that for you have a policy that you can do that for faculty children. But I wanna really think about, I'm gonna have to check into that to be sure, because generally, you could charge tuition for
That's
someone.
what I was just gonna say, could we
But
charge
in
this
the
family
case of the
tuition?
faculty students, you have a policy that basically says, if they don't come in under school choice and you choose to accept them, committee every year could review it. But it would not be, it would basically be to the cost of the town. They'd be, enrolled, but there would be no exchange of funds for that.
But can we charge this family tuition for this child?
Well, again, you
Is that an
can,
option?
I believe you can establish a tuition rate. I do believe you can do that. But again, you want to be careful, because we don't have a lot of open slots.
I guess, I think Barbie's idea, gesture to them of thinking on it and that showing concern, I think I have no problem with that. I think that's a good idea. I also don't want to be misleading at this point either, and I'm pretty clear that I would not be in favor of this unless something dramatically changed with the information. But all the time that has gone into making these decisions with school choice, cutting it, ending it, setting precedent by doing something new and what's fair for one and not fair for another, it just opens up I think a huge can of worms that as much as I may want to do that, I don't think it's in the best interest of the district as a whole.
Right, because then we could be solicited by other.
as well.
I would like to support Peter's stance on this. I feel like he's running the school and he's given us information about what works best for the school. And in this case, I think it's in the interest for us to work together to support that.
I agree, I
Then
actually would
everyone's
not be in favor either. I'd be more in favor of communicating some of the options to them that we could maybe look into, tuition type program, and obviously they know if they became a resident, they would
Right.
be enrolled, you know, sort of give them a reminder of that, but I would not be in favor of it either. And I'm fine waiting the 2 weeks provided it doesn't put more pressure on the family to get the child enrolled somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
You know, I don't know if they would be
Well,
looking
they
at
can enroll in
something,
Newburyport up until the day they
Right.
come
Of
back.
course, they may be deciding.
unless they were thinking about something, you know,
Yeah.
private or.
Yes, good point. Well, they
And
might
that
have
was
missed,
the
they
only
might have
thing I
already
was
missed that
thinking.
deadline, but,
Yeah, they might
well,
have. Well, how would the committee, it's, what, do you,
We
do
sound like
you?
we've come to a
I think-
decision. Have
yeah,
we
I
all
feel like
pretty-
we
If you
have a
wanna take a
decision.
vote
I
now.
don't think I'm gonna change my
Yeah.
mind unless, you know, some
I
large
appreciate
new
you
facts loom, but.
wanting to, you know, supporting me on that 2 weeks, but I'm fine if we wanna, if everybody feels comfortable in, just,
I mean, aren't these, our meetings are recorded, they're televised. If the family wants to know what the discussion was at any point, can't they, wouldn't they have access to this meeting?
Oh, absolutely.
So wouldn't they then know that we had all decided, but then sent them a letter saying we're gonna decide in 2 weeks?
oh, no, that, well, if we decide tonight, we'll let them know,
Yeah, I think,
right?
right, absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
just wondering what other information.
Do you need a motion for this? Does
If
this
you're gonna
need to
vote
be-
tonight, you'd need a motion.
Okay,
Shall we
so,
move the question?
So I'll make a, oh, go ahead, you probably make a motion.
well, so the chair will entertain a motion, I'm gonna say to not accept?
Yeah, to deny.
To deny, opening any school choice slots for, 11th grade at Georgetown Middle High School for the 2013-2014 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the only other little school choice discussion has to do with, and this is just really an FYI at this point, because you will have to think about it. The policy that we developed last year in working with the teachers union around this at the time of the teachers negotiations, we agreed not to put it in the contract, but we did agree to make a policy that would, if slots were available, only if slots were available, we would consider accepting children of faculty members. So this year, there were only 2 requests. The 2 requests are at the kindergarten level. The problem is that right now the numbers are high. Margaret, at this point, thinks she has about 111 students, and that's not dealing with the fact that generally the trend is over the summer, 5 to 8 new students will move in. So if you take 5 sections, just take 100 kids, there are 20 in a class, and then you start adding, you know, those go up incrementally. So now we're looking at 21, 22 kids before anybody else potentially moves in. Our class size, we have always said we want our kindergartens, if possible, to be 20 or below. So we're already high. So the question's going to be, I would say that we're asking to delay the decision on this until the summer, because, you know, it's still a moving target. But the question will come before the committee as to whether or not we are willing to accept the 2 faculty children. It would not be under school choice. There would be no financial gain for the district. But again, you know, I think one of the things that we've always been clear about, and these 2 faculty members are phenomenal teachers. I'm sure their kids are wonderful. They'd be an addition to the class, to the school. That's not an issue. But it's the idea of, you know, we have a lot of young teachers that are going to be having children, and, you know, we have to be clear that the ratio of class size to teacher student is something we have to have a high value. Can you always squeeze a student or 2 in? Probably, but you don't know what else is coming down the road too. And I think the people who pay their taxes in Georgetown, you know, would prefer to have the smallest class sizes they could for their children. So I think it's going to be just a delicate dance because, I think we're going to be once again in the situation where we want to do something, but there may be some reasons that we can't. Maybe that will change. Maybe some numbers will shake out differently. Some people will leave. We won't end up with those numbers, and then we might be able to entertain it. But I would say right now, we're not in a position to
But the faculty
make a
members who are making the requests are okay with waiting?
well, of course, they're not okay with waiting, but they really don't really have a choice on that matter. Because if we were forced right now to make the recommendation, Margaret and I would say no.
Yeah.
So it's in their best interest.
And there could be changes in
Of course
that
there could.
number.
Yes, there
Where
can.
people could move or something could
It
happen.
happens all the time.
Right.
But my worry, and I had said to Carol about a month ago when I was asked to project, do you remember, we
Yeah.
gave you those numbers?
Yes.
I thought I was really doing a good job looking ahead when I projected 19 and 20. So, and that was a projection. So now when I have real numbers that are already real at 111, it just worries me what's going to happen. Although we do know families come and go all the time, so that number could drop. And, I do think that in midsummer, that's when families kind of make their move. So, we'll have a better idea, but perhaps not. Again, we get children all the time, but I don't feel in May comfortable making that decision.
And of course, they will enroll their children, they have to enroll their
Sure,
children
where they
in the
live.
school in the town in which they reside. So it's not that they don't have a choice. I mean, they're going to go to kindergarten in their town. They're just hoping that we're going to be able to allow them to come here. And, I kind of, when we did the policy, I kind of warned people that it's a great thing. It's wonderful if we can do it. It's great for our teachers. It's, I'm sure their children come into the district and they bring wonderful gifts. But it's going to be tricky when some people get a yes and some people get a no because of the particular grade levels or the particular time. And that's why it's a policy as opposed to a contract benefit.
What do you think the impact is on, I don't know, teacher morale, professional? I mean, if they feel slighted by the district or,
well.
just, does that impact the working conditions at the school, do you think?
Well, this is never something they've had, so it's something that it's a benefit to them. And I think that when we negotiated it, we really emphasized that, it's a policy, but they understand the conditions under which we have to function. It's just that sometimes it creates these difficult decisions, because I think all of us can see the value and merit and benefit to allowing this to be something that we do for our teachers. But we also have to balance that with,
The needs
people
of the
who,
town.
it needs of the town and
The
people who
taxpayers
pay
of
their
the town.
taxes, and the class sizes are something that
Class
we've
sizes.
always, held pretty sacred. We don't want to be in a situation where, let's say, 5 to 8 new students come and then we're talking about adding a teacher. That shouldn't be, we shouldn't be in that situation. That's why the numbers are pretty close, to close to call as far as we're concerned right now. But I just want to put it on your radar screen.
Okay.
You're new.
How do other districts handle it? Like, would a teacher look at it as like a competitive thing where I don't want to teach in Georgetown because I can do it in Newburyport and Topsfield?
Well, this was one of the things that when you have a negotiations process, we have interests and they have interests. And this was one of the interests that the teachers brought up. So what we did is we worked with our attorney, and because she works in a lot of districts, she grabbed examples from other towns and districts, and I think we had quite a stack. I think maybe she had 12 to 15 pieces of language from different contracts or different policies. She was not in favor, by the way, of having a policy on this, but she works for us, and she said, "Okay, I see you need some work, so we're gonna help you out." And so it varies. Like I said, we found about 12 to 15. There may be more or less. That's what she could have access to. But that means that there's also a lot of places that don't do it.
Right.
you know, so.
And in a bigger picture,
Yes.
now's not maybe the time to get into it, but I'd be interested in learning more about how important the number of students in classes are. I mean, I know it's important.
It's important.
Personally, well, see, and I'd like to know how, because sometimes I hear it's like the most important thing going, and personally, I don't think it is the most important, but I don't know the facts out there. That it'd be
It's
great
not
to-
the most important. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of research on this. And it depends on which research you wanna
You could find
read.
research on both sides.
Yeah.
Some that say
You know,
class
the
sizes.
teachers would tell you that class size is very important. I can tell you as a teacher, I had classes of 31, 32 kids that were a dream, and then I had classes of 15, 16 that were really tough. So there's a lot to do with the makeup of the particular group of students. You know, so the number isn't the complete answer. What we have done is established ranges, you know, that we think are optimal, that would allow the teacher to deliver the curriculum, individualize where it needs to be individualized. But a lot of it does depend on the makeup, the balance, the expectations, what we're trying to teach and for kids to learn. But we don't say, you know, it's 22 is the average, and the first time we get to 23, you know, everything goes, no. But we try to establish some optimal ranges. And our ranges are, I think, on the higher side. When I first came here, they talked about class sizes of, you know, any 15 to 18. We've got class sizes now that are really averaging 22 to 25.
Georgetown has grown so
What?
much. There was a community.
Yeah.
Now, when I went to school in Newton, so this is a long time ago,
Yeah.
there were 30-something
Yes,
students in the
but,
class.
yes, and we hear that all the time.
Yeah.
We hear that all the time, and that probably is a conversation for another night, because
That's
we'll
what I
be here
mean.
forever.
Yeah.
But it's not the same, expectation in education as it was
Oh, that's
many
for
years
sure.
ago. So I think the expectation.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, kindergarten is, you know, is the first grade of old, I guess I would say. So I think where we just need to really think this through. Again, as I said, completely, our hearts are always in supporting the teachers, because I do think it is nice to have, teachers know that we value their longevity in the district, and if they want to bring their children here, that says something about A, their commitment, and B, their belief in the quality of the system.
Well, that's what I think.
That's huge.
I think it's
But
great
you're
that
going
they
to be in
wanna
a
do that.
situation if
I
every
agree.
single
Yes.
time you have, because as we have people having more babies, if, either we're going to do it for all, or, so
Right,
it's going to
absolutely.
be tricky.
Well, they
But
can
I
move
bring
to
it
Georgetown, which
Yes,
is
they can move to
ideal
Georgetown, that's
to
true.
have teachers
But
living in the
I bring it up
community with
because
students,
it's,
so.
I know that there's anxiety on the part of
Yeah.
the teachers about when's the decision going to be made. And we just feel that it is in their best interest to take a little bit more time to look at the numbers as well.
So when you say
Well, that makes
summer,
sense.
so what's the time frame that you're looking at?
Well,
I was just thinking, we get out of school at the end of June.
Right.
So that gives us the next few weeks, again, to see movement, because again, we're still getting calls
July, I
from
would say.
parents from private pre-K. We've reached out to pre-K that normally feed to us, but we continue to get children from other areas. So, so I'm thinking if we can get through the school, and then, like, that next weekend is the July 4th weekend, and then get into July, and again, that's when many families move and our phone starts ringing again.
Mhm.
So if I can just hold off even until beginning of July or mid-July.
Yeah, mid-July, I
Knowing
think.
it's still not definitive, because August could come and 5 families can move in, but that it just gives us a little more time to see what happens.
So what happens, Carol, then, if we don't have, because we have to, as a committee, discuss that. If you,
the school committee annually is expected to look at, review requests.
right, but I'm saying over the summer when we don't meet.
Oh, you
So-
meet once
Didn't
in
we
July.
have meetings in
Oh,
July?
we do,
meet
I know, but it's
once.
not listed here,
Last
that's
year?
interesting.
You meet once in
Yes.
July, mid to late July, so that
Okay,
would be.
so hopefully it'll be around
It's-
that time.
that
It's
would be
not
an
on this
agenda item.
calendar.
Yeah,
though.
that's what I was looking at.
No, I know,
June
but we do
27th
meet.
was the
Okay.
last one.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so,
We do.
okay,
Okay.
thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so new business, we have a Pembroke donation.
Yes, we do. In March, Ty Cobb donated $200 for the Pembroke School to be used as a purchase of an iPad. This matching donation comes in from, Grantham, Mayo, Van Otterloo and Company, and the matching donation toward this purchase. So I'm asking you to accept the matching donation as presented.
Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to accept a $200 matching donation from Grantham, Mayo, Van Otterloo and Company with gratitude as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Okay.
you.
And I'm just
Very
gonna
nice.
reiterate what Ann has always said in the
Yes.
past, it's amazing, the donations, and then to have a matching one like that, that's great, so,
Fabulous.
thank you.
Excellent. And then annually, we have the Camp Kiev trip, and the student activity account, checking account, it needs to be temporarily increased from 10,000 to 20,000 for the period of May 9th, 2013 until May 30th, 2013. The current student activity policy requires that a vote be taken. So I'm urging you to temporarily increase that account.
Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to temporarily increase the middle school student activity account maximum from 10,000 to 20,000 for the period of May 10th, 2013 to June 14th, 2013 for the purpose of processing receipts and payments for the students attending Camp Kiev.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, and this is something I just wanted to comment to the committee. I did a little research on this. So if it's a new policy, we have to do 3 readings, you know that. So look at it 3 times. So one is just distribution, the second is the first reading, and the third is the second and adoption. So the way we've sort of done it in the past has been, we really feel like we don't discuss it until the second meeting when we talk about adopting it. And really, the way it's supposed to work is you get it distributed in your packet, you have a chance to review it, you come to the next meeting for the first reading, and you should bring your questions. You should alert us to any concerns you might have, any questions, because there may be things that we need to follow up on, that we need to bring back before you vote, and that would give us the opportunity to do that. So we really can move these policies in 3 meetings. So I don't know if you have had a chance to read in detail the head lice policy, but if you have any particular questions or any things, information, other additional information you feel we need to be clear on or add, this would be a good opportunity, if you don't mind, to tell us, and then we could come back at the next meeting. If it's fine with you as it's written, and that's fine too, and we'll just vote next time.
I didn't have any questions about it. I didn't have any concerns.
It looked fine to me.
That was fine.
Okay, so no questions that we have, then the next meeting will be prepared to take a formal vote and.
Can we ban head lice from Georgetown?
I'd love to ban head lice from Georgetown, but I don't know how that, I don't know how to
Policy
do
is a
that.
good start in that direction. It's really very progressive. There aren't a lot of districts that have policies like this.
Yeah, no, I think we spent a lot of time on it too in
Yeah, we
research. I
found
think
some,
it's,
but-
yeah, it's interesting.
But a lot of districts just don't.
Pediculosis.
And you need to have a policy.
that
to
But one of the things that
reduce
is
the
interesting, the more you
transmission.
study this, is, there are a lot of myths. There are
Yes.
a lot of
Oh,
things
yes.
that, people really, if you wanna see something freak people out, talk about, head lice in the school. But it is interesting that there are a lot of myths that, and
But
we
this-
learned a lot about that, that part of this is education.
Yes.
And the policy is based on cutting edge research and recommendations
Mm-hmm.
from the American Pediatric Association.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
so that's good. Do
Okay.
we?
No vote on that.
Right, no vote on that. Do we need executive
Nope.
session? Okay. Just before I adjourn the meeting, I just want to welcome Laureen. I feel bad that I
Yes,
didn't
officially.
say that. So thank
you.
you.
Yes.
We look forward to working with you.
Same here.
Well,
Good.
very happy
Okay,
to have you
welcome.
here.
So the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so, American Idol, what are you hearing about?